Let's cover how to test rejected promises. The first thing we want to do is, in our users.js file, you can see that if the user's email was not found, it rejects with a new error that says user with that email was not found. We need to test this functionality. In our users.spec.js, I'll define a test, rejects with error, if user with email was not found. Now, to test rejected promises, I highly recommend using the return promise method of testing. Here, we can return, find user by email, and pass in an email of a user that does not exist in our database. Then, we can have a .then. In the .then, remember that .then takes in two functions, onForField and onRejected. You can see the function description here. So onForField, what we want to do is throw an error, because this promise is not supposed to fulfill. It's not supposed to resolve. So here, to throw an error in our test, we can call assert.fail and pass in a message. And we are going to say expected find user by email function to reject. And then we are going to pass a second argument to the .then, which is when it rejects. And this is what I'm going to have. I'm going to receive the error here, and we are going to run our assertion. Assert.equal error.message, and this should be equal to user with email x@y.com was not found. And now we run all of our tests. And we have 7 successful tests. And remember, you always have to verify that your tests are not just passing without actually checking your code. So what you want to do is come to your users.js and comment out the piece of code that rejects with the error. And then run your test, and now the test should fail. And now we have a failing test, and it says expected find user by email function to reject. But at the moment, it's resolving. So now we know that our test actually makes sure that the functionality is implemented. So I'll bring that back, run our test again, and everything is successful. So in our test, in the .then, we assert.fail, meaning we make sure that if the code reaches this block, it throws an exception to the test runner telling it this test has actually failed. But if the error was actually thrown or the method actually rejected, then we assert that the method rejected with a specific message.